Welcome to the PREP Special Education Part B video tutorial. During this video, we will talk about the Individualized Education Program, or IEP meeting. This video tutorial is provided by PREP, the Parental Readiness and Empowerment Program, an initiative of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under Law. The purpose of PREP is to improve student performance, reduce the racial achievement gap, and provide access to equal educational opportunities. We work to help parents become more involved with their child's education. We provide parent advocacy guides, workshops, webinars and video tutorials, and educational consultation clinics. We work to develop parents' advocacy skills so that parents can effectively advocate for their children and children have access to a quality education and greater educational opportunity. More information can be found on our website at prepparents.org. We offer helpful information, but this is not a substitute for legal advice. We do our best to be accurate, but rules can change and may vary by state and district. This video series is divided into 4 sections. The first covers the Individualized Education Program, or IEP meeting. The second section focuses on special education and school discipline. The third section discusses harassment and bullying. And the fourth section reviews special education transition services. So let's get started. Section 1 will discuss what is an IEP and who is eligible and involved. Then we'll outline steps to take before, during, and after your IEP meeting. First of all, what is an IEP? The IEP is a written document outlining the student's strengths, needs, and educational goals. The IEP must be tailored to the individual student's needs. Ultimately, the IEP is designed to identify the appropriate placement and services necessary to permit a student to learn in spite of his or her disability. The IEP must help teachers and related service providers understand the student's disability and how the disability affects the student's learning process. The IEP is a legally binding document. Be aware that each state has separate guidelines for the interpretation and implementation of IEPs. Before an IEP can be written, your child must be eligible for special education. An IEP includes the child's current level of academic performance, measurable annual goals, special education supports and services, behavior support plan or behavior intervention plan if it's needed, a transition plan, team action, and a signature page. The IEP has 2 general purposes. The first is to establish measurable annual goals for the child and to define the special education placement and services that the school will provide to the child. When creating an appropriate educational program for a student with a disability, the IEP team considers the child's involvement and participation in these main areas: the general education curriculum, extracurricular activities, and non-academic activities. General education curriculum means the subject matter provided to children without disabilities and the associated skills they are expected to develop and apply. Examples include math, science, history, and language arts. Extracurricular activities and non-academic activities refer to school activities that fall outside the general education curriculum. These are usually voluntary activities that are more social than academic, but are still essential to a child's overall development. They typically involve other students of the same age and may be organized and guided by teachers or other school staff. Examples of extracurricular activities include yearbook, school newspaper, school sports, and school clubs. Examples of non-academic activities include lunch, recess, band, pep rallies, assemblies, field trips, and after-school programs. So who is eligible for an IEP? As we discussed in Part A of the Special Education video tutorial, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, creates specific rights for children with disabilities to support the child's success in school. Under the IDEA, students with a disability are entitled to receive a free appropriate public education, or FAPE, in the least restrictive environment. This is accomplished by developing an IEP. To be eligible for an IEP, your child must be between the ages of 3 and 21 and have an identified disability that prevents learning to the point that the child needs specialized instruction. A child must have one of the following disabilities to be considered eligible under the IDEA: autism, emotional disturbances, hearing impairments or deafness, intellectual disabilities, specific learning disabilities, speech and language impairments, orthopedic impairments, traumatic brain injury, visual impairments or blindness, or other health impairments like ADHD, diabetes, or asthma. So what is involved in creating an IEP for your child? The IDEA calls for a team of individuals, including parents and school personnel, to work together to develop an IEP for a child who qualifies for special education services. Your child's IEP team must include a school district representative, a general education teacher of the child if the child participates or may participate in general education, a special education teacher of the child or a special education provider for the child, the parent, who may also be a guardian, a long-term foster parent, or a surrogate parent, and a member of the evaluation team, such as the school psychologist. Because IEP decisions are made by a team rather than by any one individual, it's important and helpful to understand the role of each member. While each person brings a different set of experiences, concerns, and skills to the table, you can expect that they all share a common goal: enabling the child to succeed in school and in life. The IEP team may include other people invited either by the school or by the parents. These individuals must have special knowledge or expertise about the child. If appropriate, the team should also include the child. Now that we know what an IEP is, who has the right to an IEP, and who is involved in creating and updating an IEP, let's walk through steps that a parent should take before, during, and after an IEP meeting. There are several things a parent can do before the IEP meeting to prepare. A parent can visit your child's classroom, review your child's records, talk to your child, negotiate the time of the meeting, ask who will be at the meeting, communicate regularly with school staff, request a translator if you need one, take someone with you to serve as your support system. Parents can also write down the important points that you want to make about your child and practice presenting them in advance. Read your notice to see what issues will be discussed and who will attend. Be sure enough time is allowed for the meeting. And ask the school for copies of any relevant information you don't already have. This information might include the latest full and individual evaluations and any new testing the school has done, teacher progress notes, state curriculum for your child's age-appropriate grade level, the student code of conduct or a discipline code, and blank IEP forms and/or any drafts of IEPs the school may have prepared for your child. To better prepare, parents can also gather any reports that you might have from outside therapists, tutors, consultants, or doctors. You can make a list of your child's strengths and talents, and decide if you want to meet with the teachers or evaluators before the IEP meeting. If you want to record the IEP meeting, gather the necessary equipment: a recorder, new batteries, and an extension cord. Or if you're using your phone to record, bring your phone charger just in case. Remember to disclose that you'll be recording the meeting. Taking these steps in advance of your IEP meeting will help ensure that you're prepared to meet with the team. So what happens during the IEP meeting? Every element of the IEP should be covered during the meeting. It's important that the IEP meeting focus on your child as an individual. Every IEP meeting should cover these key aspects: concerns or difficulties your child is experiencing, any known medical problems or physical limitations, your child's relationship with classmates and friends, your child's hobbies, interests, and/or extracurricular activities, present levels of performance, and the team leader will write a statement about your child's current levels of academic and functional performance, like social, behavioral, and motor skills, for example, and goals. This is based on data like test scores and observations from you and other team members. The IEP meeting will also cover the child's annual goals and individualized supports and services. The team discusses how well your child's accommodations, modifications, and specialized instruction are working. Then you and the team update the supports and services to match your child's present levels of performance and new annual goals. The appropriateness of the current educational placement, in addition to the supports and services, can be reassessed at any time. If it seems like the team is proposing one-size-fits-all strategies, remind them that the IEP should reflect your child's individual strengths and needs. If you don't understand something or need clarification, speak up. This is your best chance to communicate with the whole team. During the IEP meeting, the different members of the IEP team share their thoughts and suggestions. If this is the first IEP meeting after the child's evaluation, the team may go over the evaluation results, so the child's strengths and needs will be clear. These results will help the team decide both eligibility and placement and what services and supports the child needs in school. After introductions, make sure to take notes and make sure someone else takes accurate notes too. Remain calm, speak clearly, and be respectful. Stay focused and positive, and read everything that you're asked to sign. You can sign that you participated in the meeting, but if you don't agree with the goals or service, you don't have to sign the IEP. You can agree to just parts of the IEP. Ask for a copy of the IEP to take home with you to review, and you can also request a copy of the IEP in your native language. Know what happens next by asking what's next in the process. If anyone becomes frustrated or upset, you can ask to have the meeting continued at another time. Ask questions if you don't understand the terms being used. And if necessary, meet with individuals after the meeting to review their statements or reports. Though there will be a lot to think about during your meeting, keeping these things in mind will help guarantee that you do the best you can for your child. After an IEP meeting, you need to take additional steps. These include reviewing and returning the signed IEP, writing a follow-up letter, and following through. If you have objections, write an email or letter to the IEP team summarizing what decisions and questions came out of the meeting. You should also talk to your child. If your child didn't attend the IEP meeting, share how it went. Be sure to mention the positive things people said along with the challenges. Consider your child's age and maturity as you explain any changes. If your child joins you at the meeting, ask about how he or she is feeling. You should also develop a collaborative relationship with the service providers and meet with your child's educational specialists. And don't forget to keep important documents. Put the new IEP, as well as the notes and documentation you took to the meeting, in your files. And note any important dates, such as when progress reports are sent out, on your calendar. Keep these steps in mind before, during, and after your IEP meeting to build the best outcome for your child. Congratulations! You have finished Section 1 of the Special Education Part B video tutorial. We'll now turn to Special Education and School Discipline in Section 2.